Should you accept the first offer that's made to you by an auto insurance company after your car crash? I think this should be a clear no, but rather than shooting the world's shortest YouTube video, let me tell you what I think you should do instead. So the number one most important thing after an auto accident, when you're trying to figure out what figure will we settle for, is what figure is your case worth, right? There are times when an insurance company makes you an offer that's pretty good in the first offer. It doesn't happen all that often, but it happens, right? There are times when the first offer is made while you're still in medical care. You should never ever accept an offer that's made while you're in medical care. Insurance companies have gotten a little bit better at making these offers appealing by making them what I would call conditional, right? Hey, we're gonna pay up to $5,000 of your medical care, and we'll give you now $3,000 of pain and suffering compensation. Now, there are cases where that's an outstanding deal. If all you have is an urgent care visit, then getting that visit paid and getting $3,000 for that pain and suffering and the hassle of being involved in the car crash, awesome deal. You should take that every day, right? But if you're still in medical care and you're still seeing a chiropractor or a physical therapist, then you have no idea whether $5,000 is going to be enough to cover all your medical expenses, and you have no idea whether $3,000 is going to appropriately compensate you for the injuries that you've been through. So the number one thing when you're negotiating your case is making sure that you are at the end of your medical care and that you are 100% better. Or if you're not 100% better, that you know what your limitations are going forward. So sometimes we have clients who are 18, 24 months after the crash whose doctors have said they have a permanent injury. They've said, okay, the range of motion in the elbow is only here now, and we know that it's not going to get any better. Or the way to continue to rehab the injury is with $7,000 or $10,000 of injections or physical therapy every year. And so then we can plot out what is that likely to cost them based on their life expectancy. Right? But most people who are handling their case on their own, who are evaluating an offer while they're still in medical treatment, that's not them. Most of them are like those very early stage offers, sometimes from Progressive, sometimes from Geico, where it's conditional. We'll pay the first $5,000 for the first 90 days, and we'll give you right now $3,000. Those are bad offers. The other important thing to know is like actually what you should settle your case for, right? Not really what you want, but what is the case worth? And this is where an experienced personal injury lawyer in the area where your lawsuit would be filed is really, really helpful, right? So at my firm, we've handled a couple hundred cases a year going back 25 years. We have a really good idea of what a case is worth in Fairfax County for almost any kind of injury. Most of our clients do not, because they've handled one case in their life and they're in the middle of it right now, right? And so that's why they come to us and they trust us to say, what is the market value of a case like this in front of a judge or in front of a jury in Fairfax County? And if you don't know that answer, you really shouldn't be trying to settle a case of any substantial size because you're just relying on the insurance company to tell you this is a fair offer, this is a reasonable offer, or whatever, right? And that's where lawyers add a lot of value. But even if you know what you want to settle for, how do you know how to negotiate with the insurance company? Do you just start at 10 times the medical bills? Do you start at 3 times the medical bills? I never like to say the first number because I like to see where the insurance company is going to come in. Because that lets me know, is it even worth negotiating with them right now? If they are so low, then maybe it makes sense for us to just file a lawsuit and get on to the litigation adjuster or get a defense lawyer involved in the case who might be more reasonable for us to negotiate with than the pre-litigation adjuster. But I've also had times where insurance company offered us a lot more money than we internally thought the case is worth. And, you know, those are cases that kind of make you wonder, like, what did I not know about this case that the insurance company did? But if you have satisfied yourself that you've done your research and you've listened to the client and the insurance company is simply overvaluing the case for whatever reason, then awesome, you're off to the races. You can settle it for even more by continuing to negotiate with them. But if you have said the first number and their number was actually higher than what your value was, you're in a position where you've hamstrung yourself. So I always like to make the insurance company make the first offer, but we never want to accept the first offer because there's always room to move, right? There's always, an insurance company has built in a buffer. Here's the first offer to here's the last offer. Some insurance companies are a little bit predictable about how large that buffer will be, but not all of them. and there's no rule across the board. The other thing that you want to do when you get a first offer from an insurance company is make sure that you're on the same page about the claimed medical expenses and about what they're paying for, right? So hypothetically, if you send them a $10,000 of medical expenses and you get an offer for $13,000, you would want to know, is that offer $10,000 of medical expenses and $3,000 for pain and suffering? Or are you only offering to pay me $5,000 for the medical expenses and then $8,000 for the pain and suffering? Because if there's a gap between what they're offering to pay you for and what they're offering to cover, what medical bills or what lost wages they're crediting, then you can close that gap, and you should try to get agreement on that component part of the settlement before you negotiate the larger global settlement. Because if we can move that needle without having to adjust our demand at all, then that's a win. And so the example of that is like if they were only offering to pay half of the medical costs, well, maybe they didn't receive the whole package. Maybe there's something in the package that they were confused about that you can correct them on, or maybe like the adjuster just overlooked it, and that happens too. So getting agreement on all of the component parts before you even start to negotiate is important. Now you might find out that they're not going to move on those component parts, but at least you understand now where the offer has come from. So when you talk to the insurance company for the first time and they've made you some offer, before you accept it, you want to make sure you completely understand where that offer has come from, because you want to make sure that they have not made any mistakes in the component parts of the offer. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have an offer from an insurance company and you'd like us to review it and just kind of give you thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle on whether we can add value and deliver more dollars to your pocket at the end of the case, click on the link. There's somewhere in the body of our YouTube profile. You'll find our website, or give us a call, especially if you're in Virginia. If you're not in Virginia but you find these videos helpful, give us a call. We'll refer you and we will connect you with a great lawyer in your state. Take care.